Hi everyone, welcome back to iClo. My name is Fabiana. Today we actually have a different video for you guys. As you might know, every week I try a different pattern from iClo and show you guys how you can create the pattern for yourself. And it's kind of a sew along video, so those are really fun. But today I wanted to make a video for those who have a brand, who want to start their own clothing line, someone who wants to start selling clothes, because iClo is actually an amazing tool for that as well. And if you're new here, in iClo, you can create accurate sewing patterns and visualize the pattern in a digital avatar with the measurements of your client, of your sizes, of your own, before actually sewing the garments. So it helps reduce the time you put into testing a new pattern. All of these patterns have been tested already, which is a plus as well. And you can obviously use them as space patterns as well. So you can print them out and use them however you please. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I would take a design and create it for a custom size, how you can grade it, and how you can visualize it in your digital avatar. What's most surprising about it is that it takes just a few minutes, and with practice it'll take even less time. So make sure to watch the entire video because I promise you this tool will change how you see pattern making. Let's get started. I have my design that I want to recreate with patterns from iClo, and I'm going to guide you through it. I promise you it's super simple. You can do this even if you don't know much about pattern making, so you don't have to be a professional when it comes to pattern making to work with this. As you can see, it's a slip dress with a maxi length, delicate straps, and a cowl neckline. The first thing you're going to do is head to iClo.com. You can do this even in your phone, but I'd recommend on your laptop or computer in case you want to make more modifications. It's a little bit easier. And before I forget, you can download your first 2 projects for free. So make sure to try it out as well if you'd like. And the first thing I always go to is straight to design tools over here. This just takes me to where all the patterns are. There's blouses, pants, dresses, shorts, skirts, a huge selection of patterns that you can work with. And remember that you can use all of these patterns as base patterns, and when printed, you could also modify them and transform them into different designs. It's a huge help because these are already tested and you know they're going to fit just right. So let's look for dresses to see what we can find. Okay, we have this slip dress, but it has some darts and it doesn't have a cowl neck. So let's see if there's a more simple. Here's another dress, but it's not a bias cut dress. Okay, we have this one. It looks pretty similar to our inspiration, so we can go ahead, click on that one and create it. The first thing you'll see is this digital avatar wearing the garment. Remember that we can change the avatar, change many things in the pattern. So what you see right away is not going to be the end result unless you want it to be. I always recommend starting by creating your avatar, which can have your measurements, your client's measurements, or maybe your default measurements for each size you work with on your brand. So for example, I have mine over here. And I have this one created for a client. So you can save different avatars so you don't have to enter their data every time you're going to make a pattern for them. But let's say we're going to create a new one and it's another client. And this is her height. This is her chest circumference, her waist, and her hips. And it'll create an avatar for that size immediately. So let's go and save it. And let's use that one. And now you can see how the avatar is wearing that dress. You can see how the pattern changes and now it fits this body as well. It depends on every pattern, but you'll most likely always have some options over here, which you can change, modify, play around with, and just see on the avatar what you like best. This is what's great about iClo. You don't have to sew the pattern after each little modification because you can just see here how it'll look. So right now we have on slim. Let's see what happens if we take it to relaxed. Okay, so you can see that the pattern still fits. It's a little bit more straight, so it doesn't hug her curves as prominently. So I like it a little bit more slim. Let's take it over here. That looks good, or we can leave it as it was, which also works. Over here, you can go to fit map and you can see how tight the dress or garment is fitting on this body specifically. Where there's red is where it's going to be a little bit tighter. So you can also use that information to know what changes you want to make. But even though we're all the way into the slim option, this pattern will fit this person over here. If we go all the way to relaxed, you can see how the red starts to turn more into orange because it's not as tight as it would be over here. You can also see the strain map here. And pattern pieces. Let's go back to our avatar. And as you know, our design is a maxi dress. Perfect. Now it looks a lot more like how I want it to be. Or you can even make it a little bit longer if you'd like. I think I like this one a little bit better because if she's wearing heels, it's going to look a lot better. Okay, so now if you go into advanced mode over here, you're going to see a ton more options, but don't get scared. It's really easy to know what option is for what. If you come here over to the left and click on each little icon next to each slider, you'll have a sketch pop up that will tell you what each slider is for. So for example, this is the armhole cap, which modifies how close to the armhole or how low you want it to be. I think I like it how it's looking right now. You can also modify the hip length. There's tons of options you can modify, but honestly, I really like how it's looking. I would like the bottom section to flare out a little bit more, and I think this one's the option, yes. So let's make it a little bit more flared. And look what happens when I take it over here. It's a lot more tapered. So you can play around with that and see what works best. But remember that even though you print this pattern, you could also modify the pattern when you print it. And on the right, you'll have some options to modify the specific measurements. So if you want to see the actual number of how much something measures, you go over here. I'm not going to change anything over there, but you can definitely do so as well. If you have already selected a color for this design or your client wants a specific color, you could also play around with the colors and patterns for your garments. You could use the ones in the library. You can add new images for the prints. But let's say we want to make our navy dress as the inspiration. Let's just... Okay, I think I like this one. Perfect. And you could also change the fabric, but it's already in satin, which is the one we're going to be making. But let's say we want to make this slip dress in linen. You could also go with linen. This step is not necessary, but it's nice to have the option to see how it's going to look with the color. We have more options over here. If you go on this little hanger, you can drag a photo of your client. I'm going to drag a photo of myself, and this will show me a more detailed image on how it's going to look on me, how the color looks on me. This option is amazing in case, for example, your client isn't sure if she wants that color or not, if she wants that fabric, or maybe you're not sure if you like the color or fabric or fit of a design for your clothing brand. So let me just grab my file and I'll be back. So I just uploaded the image. It's this one. And let's just click on generate. This will take it. Okay, so here we have it. I think it looks quite similar to the inspiration. Here you can refine your design. I think the fabric looks too shiny, so let's go for a softer look. Okay, perfect. I like this color a lot better, and the fabric doesn't look so shiny. You could also download this image in case you want to share it with someone, but I'm just going to close it over here. So far, I think this design is done, but I'm going to show you a very useful tool that I'm sure you're going to love. Let's say you made this pattern and you absolutely love how it fits. Well, we can grade it without having to create a new one over here. Just make sure to save it first. Perfect. And here you can grade it either onto your avatars. So let's say you want to grade it into the client number 1 because she also wants this. Or let's say you have your own size small, medium, and large, and you want to grade that design into those sizes. But I'm just going to use the default measurements that iClo shares with us. We have all these 4 options, and you can select as many as you want. So let's say we want small, medium, large, and extra large, and it'll grade the pattern onto all of these. And now you can see the design in all sizes, in small, medium, large, and extra large. But you could also modify each one specifically. So for example, I think the large one is a little bit too short. So let's play around with that. Okay, that looks much better. And the small one was a little bit too short as well. Perfect. Okay, so now we have them all ready and it's time to download the pattern. If you also need a tech pack, you can download it over here and make the roll whatever size you want it to be. So let's download that one. And here we have the tech pack for that specific design. Here's everything that it'll include. There's even a sequence of assembling, so you have a better idea on how to sew the garment. And we can download the pattern. There's tons of formats. You can download it as a PDF roll, DXF files. If you want to print it at home in a normal printer, I'd suggest any of these. That obviously depends on what size paper you're using. But let's say we want a DXF file, you could also download it over here and download. And when you download it, you'll see that you have the 4 different sizes. So let's open it up in Illustrator so you have a better idea on how it's going to look. And this is the size large pattern. We have the front panel, the back panels, you could also just print one of them, and the straps. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I promise you it's not complicated at all. And with practice, you'll see how you can generate patterns so much quicker, so easily. So make sure to try it out for yourself.